And now, The Late Show with David Letterman. Well, we have a great show for you tonight. We are lucky enough to have a name from the past. A very famous and important woman who was instrumental in raising food and clothing donations for our black regiments during the Civil War. First though, I have a joke for you. Did you hear about the one where the history teacher was trying to tell his students how interesting the study of history is because it tells you about what happened in the past? One student said he didn't want to study history because there was no future in it. And now, let's welcome our special guest, Sojourner Troop.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you very much, Dave.
First of all, Sojourner, and may I call you Sojourner?
Of course you may, Dave.
First of all, Sojourner, your name is very unusual. What does it mean?
Well, as you probably know, I was born into slavery in 1797 in New York State. My owner gave me the name Isabella Bumfree. It wasn't until years later that I chose the name Sojourner. The Holy Spirit spoke to me and took the name, which means traveling preacher.
My, born into slavery. How did you become a free woman?
Well, in 1826, I escaped from my owners, and then the next year, in 1827, New York State emancipated all slaves born after 1799.
Sojourner, what did you do after you became a free woman?
Well, for many years, I worked as a domestic. You know, I took care of people's houses. I was lucky enough that one of my employers was a preacher, and it was there that I converted to Christianity.
I have read that you worked tirelessly to free all black men and women from slavery. But what did you do during the Civil War?
I have always been very involved in political causes during the Civil War. I gathered supplies for black volunteer regiments, and then President Lincoln invited me to the White House in 1864 to thank me for my work.
Well, the White House. That must have been something.
Oh, Lord, it was really something. They appointed me to the National Freedmen's Relief Association in 1864, where I worked diligently to better conditions for all African Americans.
That must have kept you pretty busy, Sojourner.
Well, yes, it did. But I also found time to work on a cause that was very important to me.
What was that?
I strongly supported suffrage. You know, women's right to vote.
Oh, that's right. I've heard of your speech, Ain't I a Woman?
So many people remember that phrase. I suppose it was because they expected me to be all grammatically correct and say, am I not a woman? You know, I was never formally educated. I just have always spoken from my heart. The good Lord has a way of speaking the truth through me. I think it's very important for people to hear the truth.
It must have been very difficult at times to talk to the truth when so many people disagree with you.
The truth must always be told, even when people don't want to hear it. Looking back, isn't it silly that people in the United States didn't think that all men were created equal, even though our own Constitution says it so?
Yes, I suppose you're right. Our government has a lot to be sorry for. The way we mistreated the African Americans and women in this country is horrible. Do you think things have gotten better, Sojourner?
I should say so. I'm proud that the United States of America has corrected some of the discrimination people have faced against race and gender. Don't misunderstand me, though. We had to stay on top of hatred and fear.
You have lived a fascinating life, Sojourner. Americans have a lot to thank you for.
God gave me the talent to be a speaker. My mission here on earth is to speak to audiences and get them to see the truth and then do something about it.
It really was my pleasure to talk with you tonight. You have made amazing contributions to our country, and all men and women, no matter what color, have a lot to thank you for.
It was so nice to be here. God bless.
And coming up, top 10 reasons why Norwich is called the Bubble. Cut.